I come to you again with additional evidence regarding barred from applying. These documents and these videos are not easy for me because every time that I seek to tell a story, I have to relive those experiences of injustice. But nevertheless, my story must be told. I always keep referring back to the March 20, 2019 public sworn testimony before the South Carolina House of Representatives Oversight Committee because I wanted to create a public record of what transpired with me, and I wanted to provide documents, as I'm doing here today. In a prior video, I show you where South Carolina Judicial System HR Director Charlene Bellamy sent me an email stating that my application could no longer be considered for employment because they had received notification from the state of South Carolina that I had been barred from applying. And so I reached out to Samuel Wilkins, who was the HR Director for South Carolina Budget Control Board at that time, regarding barred from applying. Mr. Wilkins sent me the email on July the 26th, 2013, where he admitted in writing, on July the 19th, 2013, the Department of Employment and Workforce entered the change in the state application system that resulted in the notation of your application that you were barred from applying. This is written verification that South Carolina Department of Employment Workforce applied barred from applying, when all of them was telling me and potential employers that barred from applying was a system error. This right here provides verification that it was not. So time and time again, I will provide documents and claims to the proper officials such as South Carolina Human Affairs, the United States Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, Greenville, local office. And time again, my documents and my claims were rejected, even with black and white evidence, because no one wanted to hold the state of South Carolina accountable for civil rights violation, which is now turning criminal conspiracy because they sought to cover up those civil rights violations. I was the only one harmed because of an intentional act. I wanted to provide this letter right here showing you the South Carolina Budget Control Board as verification, and I want to provide you Samuel Wilkins' job title as well. And this is from a postal copy that was sent to me of the email that I just read to you. And this is the same email that was sent to my house by postal mail, where he confirmed that barred from applying was done by the South Carolina Department of Employment Workforce. And so therefore, barred from applying is not a system error. On July the 25th, 2013, I received a letter from Cole Morgan of South Carolina Department of Employment Workforce stating that they was notified of my application being inadvertently applied, barred from applying. This was a fraudulent statement, and this was an intentional act of harm. Because you don't need to be notified about something that you did, and you did to cause harm. But this shows you the type of corruption that took place in the state of South Carolina with me, and no one has been held accountable. The document that is here before you now is part of the document that was sent to me by Brian Gaines of South Carolina Administration in April 2015, where there is inter-office communication between Valerie Wicke and Teleshima Ellaby regarding barred from applying. Time and time again, I would make this request to the state of South Carolina to provide me a copy of the notification that was sent to potential employees. But time and time again, I was denied and rejected. And now I know why. Because when they notify potential employees, they provide them with a fraudulent statement stating that barred from applying was done by NeoGov and that it was a system error. Now, I did not get this document here until 2015. And this is page 2 of that inter-office communication, where at least 35 employers where I had sought employment received that notification about barred from applying. But look who on the list. Do It Self, the Governor's Office, the Lieutenant Governor's Office, South Carolina Human Affairs. So they all knew about barred from applying. And yet no one has been held accountable. Why would DO need to be notified about something that they did? And here again, the governor's office and lieutenant governor's office wasn't made aware that this practice was taking place in the state of South Carolina, and they did nothing about it. Governor Nikki Haley did nothing. She would not even meet with me. And the one time that we did meet where I confronted her, she threatened me. And look who's at the list. South Carolina Human Affairs Commission. Had verification of barred from applying, but still yet, when it came down to civil rights violation, they still did not find no cause of determination. This was an intentional, deliberate act of harm by government officials in state government and federal government. Time and time again, I made a request from the state of South Carolina to provide me with notification that was sent to the employees. Time and time again, I was denied. So I went through the list of employees myself, seeking information, and several of them did provide information. And here is just a copy of the notification that I sent to one seeking information. And this was to the Citadel University in Charleston, South Carolina. And my request went to Leah of the Citadel University, in which Leah did respond. She did acknowledge that they did receive that notification in 2013 regarding barred from applying. Some information has been blocked by me because it's not important. Sometimes people put additional information in order to try to smooth things over. But even though she also apologized that this had happened to me, but she also provided notification of the actual notification that was sent to them from Samuel Wilkins of South Carolina Budget and Control Board. And the reason why I say sometimes people try to smooth things over, because when I was talking to Leah about my professional work experience in the recruitment office and my level of success, I caught Leah by surprise. And so that gave me an indication that she had no knowledge, or she did not even consider my application. And then also when I would correspond with Leah several more times seeking additional information, Leah would never respond back. So that told me that one or two things. That she probably had been contacted by the state of South Carolina officials telling her to close all communication with me, because that is exactly what happened. So here's the actual notification that Samuel Wilkins sent to employees regarding barred from applying. It was a fraudulent statement And now I know why the state of South Carolina never fulfilled my request of sending me what they sent to employer. Because it was fraudulent. They blame NeoGov for the error barred from applying on my master applicant profile, which was not true. And this was a cover-up and intentional act to harm. In 2019, NeoGov has stated to me several times in writing that barred from applying is not a system error, it's the feature of the product. And they have no control over the users or how they use their product. I keep referring to the March 20, 2019 public sworn testimony before South Carolina House of Representatives. That is very important. As again, I want to create a public record, just as I'm doing now. In that testimony, I talked about receiving a pack of documents in April 2015 from Brian Gaines regarding barred from applying, and that was inter-office communication of high-level government officials with the state of South Carolina conspiring with regard to barred from applying, what to say, should be said. And they also knew what happened and when it took happen. And when it did happen. And I want to provide this letter here to show you Brian Gaines as an administrator, and also confirm to you that he sent me that information. And it says on April 1st, 2015, all documents and information related to your inquiry were mailed to your home address. Per our conversation on April the 6th, 2015, you indicated the packet of information had been received. And that is correct. I did receive those documents from Brian Gaines. And those documents include inter-office communication, which are many, regarding barred from applying. I'm going to provide those documents in another video. But here again, I'm requesting an investigation by the United States Department of Justice into the state of South Carolina, South Carolina Department of Employment Workforce, South Carolina Human Affairs, the United States Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, Greenville Local, and the Charlotte Regional Office, into civil rights violation, also into a cover-up of those civil rights violations, which is now turned into a criminal conspiracy. I am the only one that has been harmed. And when I say the white slave master, the house Negroes, and the field Negroes in 2021 still exist, that's a fact. Because many white and blacks and others knew that this had happened, and yet they turn a blind eye to injustice and even the courts. And so the question becomes, who else have this happened to? Who else may find themselves being in an unjust situation, and they contact their government official for assistance and do not get any, but all participate in a cover-up, now in a conspiracy? So as I always have stated, the justice system in the state of South Carolina is injustice in itself. But we as a people, we have the right to call out those injustices, even those that sit on the bench in the court of law. And I have found out these are some of the most corrupt individuals that exist on planet Earth. Because I provide these documents, and yet they all turn a blind eye to injustice. So to the United States Department of Justice, I am providing you with a public record of documents of what transpired with me regarding barred from applying. There not be minimum qualification, nepotism, and how the state of South Carolina placed the blame on NeoGov for committing a civil rights act when they knew, in fact, when they provided that statement to potential employers and to me, that was intentional act to harm. Justice is still required.